From a record-shattering heatwave across Europe to explosive new tensions in the Middle East, markets in flux, and global policies reshaping everyday life, today's headlines aren't just news. They're warning signs. Across Europe, the heat is more than historic, it's dangerous. Paris, Madrid, and Rome hit 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit today. France declared a red weather alert. Over 1,300 schools shut down, and cooling shelters are packed. In Spain, emergency crews are battling dozens of wildfires, and power grids are struggling to meet air conditioning demand. In Germany, hospital admissions for heat stroke are up 70%. Even the UK is sweltering, Londoners experiencing the hottest July 1st in over 50 years. Experts blame a blocking high-pressure system, worsened by climate change. Scientists call it a preview of normal summers by 2035, and Europeans are largely unprepared. Why it matters. This isn't just discomfort. It's deadly. Vulnerable populations, especially the elderly and outdoor workers, are at increasing risk. Cities across Europe are now revising infrastructure plans, pushing climate resilience to the top of the agenda. How to stay safe, 6:45 to 7:30. Sun, back to the heatwave, because this isn't just a story, it's survival. If you're in Europe today, stay indoors between 12 to 4 p.m. Hydrate often. Avoid alcohol and caffeine. Check on elderly neighbors. Don't leave pets or children in cars, even for a minute. Hospitals are asking people to limit their visits to emergencies only. Heat exhaustion is on the rise, and public transport delays are expected in Paris, Berlin, and Milan. Brain remember. Heat waves are now the deadliest natural disaster in Europe annually, surpassing floods and storms combined. Tensions between the US and Iran reached a boiling point last night. Following last week's US airstrikes on suspected Iranian nuclear sites, codenamed Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran retaliated with a direct missile attack on the Al Udeid air base in Qatar. While US officials say no lives were lost, the message from Tehran was clear. This isn't over. Iran has now withdrawn cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, signaling a possible return to unchecked uranium enrichment. Meanwhile, Gulf nations are boosting defenses, fearing escalation. In Gaza, Israeli airstrikes have killed nearly 100 civilians in the past 48 hours. The region teeters on the edge of a wider conflict, as ceasefire talks collapse. Round pushpin global powers, including China and Russia, are calling for de-escalation. But as of now, no side is backing down. Markets watch, inflation, energy, and ECB jitters. Studio microphone, the global economy is walking a tightrope. At the European Central Bank's annual forum in Sintra, Portugal, President Christine Lagarde warned of economic crosswinds, where inflation is down, but confidence is fragile. Today's key data. Euro climbs to $1.18. UK house prices drop 0.8% in June. Eurozone inflation hits ECB's 2% target, but core prices remain stubborn. Across the Atlantic, all eyes are on Capitol Hill, where the Senate begins debate on the $3.3 trillion, big, beautiful bill, a sweeping Republican-led tax and Medicaid overhaul. The bill faces pushback from both parties and could dramatically reshape U.S. healthcare access and spending. Meanwhile, China and Brazil are pushing for stronger BRICS financial independence, urging new trade agreements to bypass the U.S. dollar. Markets are bracing for volatility ahead of Q3 earnings, with energy prices, conflict zones, and policy decisions creating a perfect storm of uncertainty. Global shifts: India, Brazil, Africa, Korea. Satellite: around the globe, power is shifting, in laws, technology, and leadership. India launched its new government data platform GoIStats, giving citizens real-time access to economic and demographic info. The country also created its first maritime finance corp to boost ocean trade. Finance Minister Sitaraman is in Portugal, rallying global finance leaders to address rising debt and climate costs. In Brazil, President Lula just signed a law raising Afro-Brazilian government job quotas to 30%, a major milestone in diversity policy. But it comes amid deadly flooding in Rio Grande do Sul and a tragic balloon crash that killed 8 tourists. North Korea has resumed missile testing, launching 2 long-range rockets into the Sea of Japan. The U.S. has issued a joint response with South Korea, calling it a reckless provocation. In Somalia, Puntland security forces are cracking down on ISIS-linked militants. The situation remains unstable across the Horn of Africa. Culture and tech, Ronaldo, esports and digital diplomacy. Video game, in sports and tech, headlines are global too. Soccer ball Cristiano Ronaldo has been named global ambassador for the Esports World Cup 2025 in Riyadh. The tournament features a record $70 million prize pool, with the mid-season invitational for League of Legends kicking off today in Vancouver. Meanwhile, the UN Digital Compact was finalized this week, outlining universal digital rights and AI standards.